Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with CircWorks, and this is Friday, Fan Art Friday, and I am going to do another Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens sketch. I'm actually using a new pencil. This is it's a blue pencil. Like I think the last one I did, I used a red pencil. But this blue pencil is a little different. This is more like a mechanical pencil. I bought these Pentel blue leads, and I'm gonna give them a shot. Somebody had one at a convention and let me try it, and I kind of liked it. I've got to be real careful not to break them though, and I don't really have that heavy of a hand, so the blue pencils that I'm used to working are these Prismacolor turquoise leads for like drafting pencils, and they work really good. They don't. You know what? I should see how these. I don't know how this new one, how well these erase. I think these erase a little better, and they can get a little darker, so I can keep working up. So I'm gonna try these for a little bit and see how they work for me. So I've got a few new art supplies that I'm gonna mess around with. I got a new Pentel pocket brush pen, which I've used these before. I've got an old one here, but it seems like it just doesn't keep those tight lines like I used to. So maybe they just get old. So I'm gonna try a new one and see if that makes the difference. Because I used to use those at cons and stuff because you don't have to like dip them or anything, and they seem to work pretty good. So this is a sketch of, I believe her name's Ray. I've seen some things where it says her name's Kira and some things where it says her name's Ray. So, but this is I think kind of the main character from the new movie, the heroine. So, I have a feeling she's probably like Han Solo and Princess Leia's daughter, but I haven't read enough to, I'm not trying to get too many spoilers or anything, but just based on official stuff that's been released, it looks like that's who Luke is talking to. And I think I probably talked about this before when he says that, my father has it, and I have it, my sister has it, and that powers you, or that powers in you, or whatever. Which I could mean it's his daughter, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that would be the case, if they follow kind of the traditional Jedi, credo. So, but this is her pretty much in her like desert outfits, and I've found there's some cool pictures online of just that they've released at the Star Wars Celebration of her costume. So, looks pretty cool. Very. I just love this look, and it looks like they're really getting back to basics with this new Star Wars stuff, where it's it's just not a lot of like flash and stuff. It's very. I always like the bounty hunters where they've got all these crazy things attached to her, and you can see on some of the. I mean, the back of her costume is really interesting. She's got like a backpack and then some little tanks and things like that, and really very cool. Cool stuff to draw and design and everything. So. But it looks just like found objects, like just stuff she would find, being out in the desert or whatever, kind of the way, the sand people were dressed or how they were scavengers and things like that. So it's just got a really cool feel to it. So far everything I've seen has just got me super psyched about the new Star Wars. So I might be one of those crazy people out there in the opening night. I did it before with even the prequels, even though, in the end they weren't really what I wanted to be, and I kept hoping the next one would be better, and I think the third one was probably the best out of those, but still, and that's more probably because it tied more into the original trilogy. Oh, and then I forgot, so I got her little, I don't know if it's her robot, but it seems like she's usually with it from the trailer, like there's a scene I'm looking at that's a still where her and the I don't what's the other guy, Finn, I think, are running from something explosion, and then he's kind of trailing behind. So definitely a different scale, as you can see. He's pretty tiny. He's like half the size of R2D2, and R2D2 is not that tall. So it's kind of it's kind of weird, you know. Not weird. It'll probably make it like super cute. I'm sure it can like roll into places that normal people can't go. And I don't know that. I'm curious to see what the actual purpose of that droid is. You know, I'm sure it's got some reason for being, you know, a little rolling ball droid. But but they actually have, like, I saw they released some footage of. And if you guys are like super Star Wars fans, I'm sure you already know this and probably know more than me. But they they brought the actual robot on stage, so he's an actual robot in real life, not CGI. And they also are they something got leaked where they actually have the toy like a remote. I don't know if it's a remote control or whatever, but it's a actual toy that uses a similar technology to what they used in the film. So that should be pretty cool. But I'm imagining the actual action figure when they release these as figures. And I haven't bought figures in a long time. Well, I was going to say I might actually buy some of these, but I never really, I don't think I bought any from, oh, you know what? I did buy some from the prequels now that I think of it. They're in my garage somewhere. And then eventually I just stopped. Um, but yeah, this guy's got to be like a super tiny action figure. So I don't know if maybe he'll come with somebody else. Sometimes when they have little guys, they'll, like when they released the Jawas later on, not in the original trilogy series, but when they released the Jawas, they would have put like two in a pack or whatever. But I assume there's only one of this guy, so I don't know. He might come with a little extra play set or something like that. But he's just a tiny little guy, so I don't know how his like head would stay on if he can actually roll. I imagine the action figure would roll, but I don't know if it's like a magnet. It's probably like one of those. I don't know. I used to have these. It was like a kind of like a compass where if you can turn it around, those ball compasses where you can turn it around and it still stays upright. So maybe it has something similar to that. I don't know. But all right. So yeah, I kind of got a head start on this one before I turned the camera on. So last time I'm I'm a little bit behind today. Usually I film these early. I was on Jeff Lafferty's Artcast today, and if I can remember, I'll put a link to that. But I've been going on there a little more often, so I'm usually on there. Jay Ferguson is on there, and there's some, Peter Palmiotti hasn't been on in a little while. He's dealing with some problems with his computer, but I think it's about getting close to being done. Um, Sometimes this guy Brody Williams is on, but just kind of a rotating group of people that are kind of guests on his art casts. But so I did that, and then even after the camera or the stream went off, I stayed and chatted with Jeff for a little while. So, and then I finished some more work on. I'm working on these patterns for. I'm doing I'm getting ready for convention season, and I'm working on some patterns for a line of bow ties, kind of real geeky style bow ties. So I've been working on patterns for that and more of my own personal stuff, which is fun. I wrapped up this big comic book project that I did. So uh, usually with these sketches, I don't really add a whole lot, and I usually don't add more than one character. But like I said, he's kind of so small that I figure I add him in. Like here's another one I did from Star Wars. I've got a whole bunch of these. I don't know where they all are. Here's the one I did last week, and there's good old Greedo. But yeah, see, that's kind of what I was talking about the costume. It kind of reminds me of that. It's just got all kinds of crazy stuff that's just super fun to draw, and that's what I like about her costume here. So, but like I showed from that, I usually don't put much background stuff in there, but maybe a little bit here. All right, so I got what looks like FW ink, but actually that's just the jar I'm using. It's Speedball, and I don't know why I mention all these different kinds of inks because I usually don't. I'm not really sold on any one ink. There's some I like better than others, but I got the speedball because it was really it was the only thing I could find. I hate to waste these sketch cards because I cut them out, but I need something to test my ink out on, and that's the closest thing. So I don't know if what I'm gonna try this brush, even though it's a little thicker. I got the windows open here. It's a nice day out today. Well, a nice day for me is probably a little different for most people. It was actually raining when I woke up, so I went out and went to the store and everything. But I live in Arizona, so we don't get a lot of rain, so it's kind of like the opposite of everywhere else, where a lot of people like kind of get down when it's a rainy day. But me, it's like the opposite. I kind of relish them, so you don't get them that often. You get a nice breeze and actually even some thunder here. Yeah, this brush, I don't know. I think I might, I might as well just stick with it. I was going to switch over. I really need to get some new brushes. These ones are just fraying a little bit. But so I'm filming this again with my webcam instead of my camera phone, my iPhone, whatever you want to call it. That line from the Fly of the Conchords where he built his own. I'm all over the place today. If you ever watch Fly of the Conchords, he like built. He just like strapped the camera to his actual phone. That was his camera phone. And then he was trying to pawn it. Like there's actually a song where he's talking about how he pawned his toothbrush jar and his camera phone, and it was just the camera stuck to a regular phone. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but that show is hilarious. So let's see. And so these goggles, what I think they are, well, somebody had mentioned this, but I think they're like the inside of a stormtrooper costume, like if you were to rip the actual goggles out of the visor out of a stormtrooper costume, which is kind of cool. Again, back to that whole scavenging thing, which you can see from the trailer. That's pretty much it. I mean, she's kind of like looks like a nomad out on Tatooine or wherever, and living in a hollowed out, was it ATV or AT Walker or something. Pretty cool when the ships like fly through it and everything, through the hull of it. Man, just so many cool things, and I'm hoping there's like, well, there's got to be, but I'm hoping they're holding a lot of stuff like back, like stuff that, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be plenty of surprises. The only thing that I guess it doesn't really worry me, but I remember when the trailer for episode 1 came out and how excited I was based on that, because that trailer was really, you know, it could have just been because we really hadn't seen in Star Wars or whatever. But when I saw that, I had high hopes too. But, you know. So a lot of like drapery and stuff here. It's fun to draw. Sometimes it's hard to get it right. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I might have got something wrong there, but she's got I guess that's the strap to her backpack right here. Oh, it's raining hard. I don't know if you guys, I'm not sure if the mic's picking that up, but I got the windows open because I like the smell of the rain and stuff, but it's starting to pour down heavy, which I'm trying to get my grass in my backyard to grow back, so that might help it out some. But, oh, so I was talking about filming this with my webcam, and I don't know, I think the quality of the phone is better. And last time I had some lights on, shining down on the drawing, and it was kind of washing it out. So I moved those away. But I'm not sure if the quality is as good as on my phone, but I was just having issues with it, my phone being able to record all that stuff. So I can tell this one's going to go up late because I'm still getting, still filming it. And right here, it's where I'm at. It's like 1 o'clock afternoon. So usually I try to get these up. Sometimes I try to film them on Thursday if I can, but she's got something here. I don't see any like lightsabers on her or anything. She'll probably be given it like by Luke or something if that's the case. But the other guy, the other like main character, the guy from Attack the Block, if you've seen that, John Boyega, I think that's his actual name, even though it kind of sounds like it could be a Star Wars name. Um, he there's a picture of his, like a sketch of his costume, and he has a lightsaber. So I don't know. Yeah, see this brush. This brush would be really good for a dry technique because right here there's just kind of on her shoulder. It looks like it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like she's got kind of a furry type thing. I don't know, but that dry brush technique looks good for that. But I need to get a brush that I can get some really good, tight lines on. These don't look too bad. And of course, her costume's kind of all wrapped up like sort of a mummy, or even like Luke Skywalker's boots were in the original on Star Wars, where just kind of like the way his boots were put on there, just kind of like wrapped around. It kind of looks cool. Be a pain in the ass to take them off and on, I'm sure. Unless they're like actually just wrapped around a boot and you just slip the boot off, which probably is the case. Back here, I cheated some stuff out a little bit just to show, and you're not going to see much of it, but these little tanks and I don't know, different apparatus and stuff that she has on her backpack. It looks like she's kind of like a junk collector or something because there's a like a something from the celebration, Star Wars Celebration, where it shows her like speeder thing. They called it a bumper car, which is kind of funny. But if you've seen the trailer, you've seen that thing she's driving. But on the side of it, there's just this big net with a bunch of like parts and stuff, which is kind of, if she is like related to Luke Skywalker or whatever. I mean, that was the whole thing that like Anakin could build stuff, and I don't know if they really said too much about Luke being able to kind of cobble things together, but maybe inherited that from somebody. So, what else? I've been just while I've been working, I've been watching these YouTube videos, and started watching one called Retro Blasting, which is kind of a review of old toy shows and stuff. I'll have to remember, if I can remember, I'll put these links in the description. But it's kind of cool. He put it to the guy. It's a guy and a girl. I don't know if they're married or what. It looks like they're maybe boyfriend girlfriend or something like that. I don't know, um, but they do these videos and they kind of script them, and there's some funny stuff, little like bits and things that they do that's funny. But they just review old toys and stuff, and sometimes he's pretty opinionated about like different different old toy lines and things like that, which Some of the stuff I kind of agree with. Some of them, I think people might get upset because these toys and everything, they're pretty beloved. And a lot of it he just does from love of the toys. Even things that you love, like Star Wars or whatever, you have little criticisms and you just take them for what they are. But then I started watching this other one called I think the guy is called the Budget Jedi, and he's just building like little dioramas and things to display his Star Wars guys in. And the first one I clicked on, he was making like the Hoth ice cave where the Wampa was. He was making that out of. He was using like foam, and I do a lot of like carving and stuff with foam, and that's kind of why I was interested in this because I mean I could probably with my knowledge of working with foam and just stuff like that in general, I could probably make some really cool dioramas. I don't know if I really have the time to do it, but it's cool to watch other people do it. I was even thinking, if I ever like retire or something, that might be something I might want to do. Just sit and have a big room where I could make little dioramas for figures that actually I don't even have any Star Wars figures. I guess I've got some in storage and stuff, but I'm not like a huge. I kind of stopped collecting that stuff, but that might be a fun little hobby. But yeah, he was building uh, the ice cave where the Wampa was, and he built it out of like the foam pool noodles. He would just cut pieces off, and then he kind of melt them with a torch. And I mean, most of the stuff he did wasn't like totally like screen accurate. He wasn't really a stickler for that, but it looked pretty good. And really, when you think about it, most of those old toys weren't, the play sets and everything weren't that accurate. I mean, even the stuff he was doing was a lot more accurate than what they gave us. But I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that want everything super perfect. I saw some other videos of people that, really did some amazing stuff, but their videos probably weren't as entertaining because they didn't really talk. They would just show speed videos and stuff. Um, but it was cool because he would just use he just one thing that I'm really into is just like when I kind of messed up on that. If you can see with the perspective we're looking at, see how I curved it this way when it should go that way. So I got to try to fix that. Anyway, what was I talking about? No, I was talking about the like Star Wars dioramas, but I had a point I was going to make, and now I don't remember what it was. It'll come to me, I'm sure. Yeah. When I get down to the little droid guy, I'm probably going to have to break out the microns and the circle templates, but let's get her kind of laid out first. I do really think it's cool. I was hoping, even before they announced this, I was hoping that they would make the main protagonist female for this one, and they did. So I was excited about that. Oh, and so the guy I was talking about with the building the little dioramas, he built like a sarlacc pit, and he's just using just everyday things you would just find around the house or wherever. Because when I build stuff, that's kind of what I do when I build props and things. I look at something, I say, well, that kind of looks like this, or you find something. And actually, the one of the videos, I think it was like the first video I watched, and that's kind of what got me into it. He had bought like just at a discount store. He bought a little plastic like horseshoe set, and he said, "Oh, I looked at this and it's kind of the shape of the bar in the cantina." So he used it, and that's what he started everything with, and built that little bar using that using that little horseshoe shape as the toy horseshoe set. So very cool stuff. If you're into that, I'll have to remember to put a link to it. Yeah, I watched a lot of them. I think there's still a few. I think the retro blasting, the other one with the toy reviews, I think I went through most of them. There's still probably some that I haven't seen, but I just need to fill a little more ink. Running low. So I don't know, maybe I'll bring some of these with me to the convention. Oh, I ordered an Anvil like road case, which are what they use to carry instruments around. I think this one was probably for a drum, like a small drum, because when I opened it up, I got it in the mail yesterday. And when I opened it up, it kind of had like a circle like area in the foam where it looks like a drum was. But I'm going to turn it into like a display for the comic convention and have it look kind of like like the plutonium like case that if you watch Back to the Future that Doc Brown had. So I'll probably be doing a video of that, of my process of turning that road case, or I don't know if they're road case or flight case. I don't know what you call them, but I've heard them called different things. But anyway, you've probably, if you saw it, you know what I was talking about. But it's pretty much the exact same model, it looks like, as the one from Back to the Future. But I mean, I'm not going to try to make it exactly like that because I'm going to put like my own stickers and stuff on it that say like CircWorks Labs and stuff. So I'm not trying to make it exactly like the one from Back to the Future, but it's a general idea. And then I'm going to use it as some sort of a display for, I don't know if you can see that, me drawing these feet. I forgot to pull the drawing up. Just to display some kind of products or whatever at the comic convention. So, which is coming up. I've been doing a lot of stuff getting ready for that. All right, hold on. Let me see what we got here. I think I need to get some new kind of, say microns, but these are Faber-Castell pens. This one doesn't always want to draw very well, though. There you go. And yeah, this guy's pretty cool. They did a good job. I think they, because Star Wars, you do need like cute characters and things like that. But I think they did a good job in creating like this droid, something that the kids will like, and it looks like something I'll like too. Um, but without making it just, I don't know, like a Jar Jar or even the Ewoks or something. Because even when I was a kid, when I would watch, I gotta find, I forgot what this guy looked like, what his markings look like. Let me see. Okay, it looks like he's got another line that kind of goes down here. But the cartoons would always throw in like these characters that were specifically designed to get kids into the cartoons, like they weren't already geared for kids to begin with. I don't know. And most of those characters I never really cared for. I mean, it seemed like every one of them had some little animal character or something like that. So. All right. these. Yeah, I did a sketch card of this guy before, but when I did that one, all they had really were all I'd seen was the scene where he's just rolling through, and you couldn't really tell what the designs looked like on his, on his body because they were moving so fast. So I just drew some kind of blurred marks, and I don't know if this is totally 100% accurate, but you can kind of get an idea, a little better interpretation of what his little markings look like. There we go. Let's get some little pieces like that. Oh, I forgot. He has little antennae. I didn't even sketch those in, but we can draw those. I think he's got a couple of them. So, all right. Now I'm just going to go around her and pop her out a little more with some darker ink on the edges. We'll see. I always like to do that. Give it a little bit of a thicker outline. I don't know if her staff is black. If it's black, I might color it in. It kind of looks like it might be more of a silver. I don't know. I don't know if this is a weapon or... Sometimes they never explain that stuff. Because the Princess Leia, when she's in the costume, she's got a stick similar to this, and I don't think she ever... Not sure if she ever used it as a weapon. But there was that retro blasting show I was watching. He was talking, which I never really thought about it, but how like once they got to like Return of the Jedi and the toys, hardly any of the toys had guns anymore. Even like some of the characters that had guns, they all, most of the bad guys, or most of the, I don't know, just people that made action figures came with like sticks or like, and then they just picked some weird ones to do. Like, I don't know, that General Madine guy was just in the film for just a little bit, and like really not an action guy you'd really want to play with. Although I did have the toy of him, so I think back then I just collected whatever. But I always wanted them to make like a Grand Moff Tarkin guy, but they never even made that. Not till like later, after the films were over and they went back, and now they've got every single person ever. I'm sure. I don't think there's a person even like in this background that doesn't have a figure of some sort. Yeah, back when I was a kid, you could actually collect them all. I don't think nowadays there's any real way you could collect them all. There's just so many. And another one, the guy was talking about the yellow lightsabers, which I always thought was weird, and it was kind of, he kind of went through that whole thing where, I mean, no one's ever had a yellow lightsaber in Star Wars, but the toys they kept making Luke Skywalker have a yellow lightsaber all the time. But then on the packaging, Obi-Wan had a yellow lightsaber, which never had a yellow lightsaber either. But like the thing is when they photograph those things, that's all added later with digital effects. Or not, well, back then it wasn't digital, it was photographic effects, but so, they're just sword fighting with sticks, and then they add the lightsaber effect afterwards. So I'm sure when they gave all the photos and stuff, or to Kenner or whatever, maybe they just decided to make it whatever color they wanted to. But it was an interesting little rant that he went on about, why does Luke Skywalker have a yellow lightsaber? And if anything, give it to Obi-Wan, or because he's got that color on the card. So there's a lot of weird things that happen with those, the toys. Let me go and see if I can. Sometimes it's easy to go over an existing line with a paintbrush. I might put a little shadow in there, give it some depth. Okay. Might as well add the darks. And it's like, his eye looks like an old camera eye, almost. Maybe he's like a surveillance type droid or something, I don't know. And then we put some shadow behind here too. Turn this around. Yeah, so I'll have to see how much time I have before I gotta upload this thing, and then I gotta get my daughter from school, and I want to try to start filming some of the process of me working on that that prop, that plutonium case prop, but it'll be a little while before it's up because I got to do it in stages. Obviously, something like that where you're actually building something that isn't like a drawing like this where I can just do in a. Ah, crap! You gotta. Oh, never mind. Sorry. I thought the camera shut off. I went and looked. I was looking at because there's a running time, but I was looking at the wrong video. There's a little thumbnail to the old videos that I filmed. So I guess we're good. But I was gonna say, yeah. So about a little over probably four. This will probably end up being maybe 45 minutes when I'm done with it. So. All right. What else? Some final finishing touches. And some little shadows here and there. Definitely want to do the inside of her visor. More shadows down here. Just a little bit, just to give it some depth. I don't usually go crazy with blacks and shadows and things on my art, but although I like that effect when other people do it. All right. So I think that'll probably about do it. Maybe I'll do some little sand here. And I'm just going to go ahead and sign my name. And that will complete another Fan Art Friday. I kind of tilt it so you can see the whole thing. Just tilt your monitors around so you can see it. But yeah, so that is Ray and BB-8. And so yeah, thanks for following. Hopefully I'll remember to put I'm trying to remember all the stuff I discussed, put some links in the comment section. If you like these videos and you want to see more, just if you haven't already subscribe, like them, all that stuff, and I'll see you hopefully soon for another video. I'm not sure what that video will be, but I've got some plans to do some different videos coming up, so should be fun. And you guys have a great weekend. That is all.